I have had my own pitfalls. I've had my times when I had collapsed physically, I had collapsed mentally. I was just running and I was really running fast. I was not catering to my emotions and everything collapsed one shot. Hey, it's nothing like that. Just go. Focus on your work. You'll get the results. Stop thinking all this. It's rubbish.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Girl Talk every week where I talk to inspiring young women who has walked a different path with courage and resilience. And I'm so very excited this week because I get to touch base again and I get to invite somebody I met 6 years ago and who has inspired me in so many ways. I'm going to talk to you about it. And her name is Khushboo Nangalia. And I met her when she was, I think, like 6 years ago. Is that right, Khushboo?
Yes.
And when
Yes.
I met her, I know I had this already mellowed down. And I saw her doing interviews and she was relentless. She was just this energizer bunny. I thought to myself, what does she eat? I want to have what she eat. I love her energy. And it just reminded me to, hey, I need to get back that youth energy. And today, let me introduce you about our guest today. She is today a co-founder and also a founder of a digital marketing agency, Beyond 99 and Salt and Pepper. She is also the go-to person. Listen to this, girls. If you want to brand yourself on LinkedIn, go and check her out on LinkedIn. She has made an impact. So many people on LinkedIn on branding themselves successfully. She is definitely the go-to person. And if you stalk her LinkedIn, you will see, scroll down, and she has won 9 awards. Okay, not one, not two, but 9. Okay, at a tender young age in her early 30s. So welcome, Khushboo. Thank you so much for saying yes to be our guest.
I can only tell you one thing, Shada. Yes, 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 and yes. I mean, the love, the energy, the vibe that you have. Who can say no to you? I still remember our first meeting. I still remember the number of times we've stopped each other on LinkedIn to just be there for each other. So you had this pocket full of positive vibration. Nothing but yes for you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so much
you.
for inviting me.
Thank you. And you for the listeners, yeah, you also might want to, apart from checking out her LinkedIn, you gotta check out her TEDx talk. She's a TEDx speaker, and her TEDx has gained 52,000 views. That's amazing. And it's on the undeniable power of business storytelling. So whether you're not going into business, you just want to brand yourself and build a career, yes, there's so much lesson to learn from her on storytelling on social media. She is definitely the go-to person. So let's talk about the work that you do today. So as a founder, you have a team, and what actually your job entails like? I mean, your business entails like. What's your day-to-day like as a young career woman?
Okay, I think the best part is that I feel that I do not have to plan my day 9 to 6, or I do not have to be on Monday on desk, or even have to feel like, okay, it's a working day, because being in a space which is not only location independent but time independent as well, it allows me to travel, it allows me to work from wherever I want to work, it
Mhm.
allows me to work at whatever time I want to work. So with God's grace, with whatever effort has gone for the last 15, 17 years, at least have come to this point. Um, Coming down to where and what we do. So it all comes from two folds, Shaida. The first fold is really about having that creative inclination towards content, towards influencers, and towards performance marketing. That's where the Beyond 99 agency comes in. So our core job is to make sure that the brands, the events, the product launch can be done in the most unique concepts on the media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and even to say Pinterest and Twitter, to just go all out and give them that kind of innovation, creativity, and result centric approach. And when I'm talking about result centric approach, I'm not talking about views and I'm not talking about impressions, but I'm talking about real business results,
Nice.
which
Nice.
means that money to money. If the company is putting in $100, what are they getting in return? And that's the kind of work we are doing with the agency.
Yeah, it's not storytelling, just any storytelling. It's business storytelling that delivers results and all that. Which
So that the CEOs can actually feel that they've put their money into something that is getting revenues, that is getting the goals, that is getting the brand results that they are looking for.
Nice, nice. So I would say the kind of work that you do now, it's a combination of creativity as well as numbers and analysis, right?
100%. I think very well summarized.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think that's a that's two things, which is creativity and results, which are analytics, that is data. So actually it's AI where the creativity comes in, and data are the numbers that we churn to make sure that we're getting the right AI implemented for the marketing that we want to deliver on the digital platforms.
nice, nice. It's I think it's an exciting career to be in. And especially as a founder, you get to be creative, you get to set the strategy and direction. Yeah. But when I look back at your background on LinkedIn, I was stalking your LinkedIn. And I noticed you graduated with Bachelor of Commerce with Accounts and Finance, like me. I did that as
Yes.
well. We studied totally something else, and today we're doing something else. So, for the benefit for the young girls out there, they probably pursuing their study in something, but they don't know, is this something that I'm gonna end up with and all that. Maybe you can share a bit of your story. How do you navigate? How did you find this from accounting? How did that decision, how the thought process? I know you started with some web developer company when you first started, right? So maybe backtrack your career
You're
from
really you're really getting me go back in time, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Shaida, I would say that my life has more been about how things have been going around me, and just keeping my eyes shut and trusting the flow. Why do I say that? Because at the age of 16, when I was really excited, adventurous, really lot more energetic than what you had seen me, to be honest, that's exactly when life changed for me. And that's exactly when I lost my father.
I see.
So there, the life took a 360-degree turn. I was the elder child, and somehow I felt responsible for my mom and my sister. Not that financially my dad had not done enough, he had done enough, but still I felt responsible for making sure that I take the baton, or I don't know, it's just happened very, very organically. And that's the age of 17 when I took my first job. I would say my first job, because this is all for the young girls, and I have the team where I have young girls and young boys working with us. And I want to tell them that being in my early 30s as well, my first job was, I guess, if I'm calculating it well, I was being paid about $20 at that time for a month of hard work, part time, not full time. I was part time because I used to come back from school at 3 o'clock, and I used to work from 4 to 9 approximately in the job. So I was in school. I was just entering high school when all of this happened. So I feel that now young girls or boys are more about quick money, more about if they are feeling that, okay, they're just going to do a little bit of content and they're going to make money, because influencer marketing is a huge market. And we hire influencer, to be honest, and we have seen that they are making a lot of money, but that is only the top 10%. The 90% of the people are still struggling, and they are going through FOMOs, they're going through real anxieties in life, which is genuine pressure of bad mental health, genuine pressure of wanting to be someone they are not. And that all that noise, I would say, is very harmful. And thus I want to reflect back. It started with $20, and today I'm sitting in a country which is away from my homeland, where we have really a livelihood which I have dreamed of. I mean, a beautiful condo, properties invested, having investments that is required. Because I think it's so much about money in the youth, and it's so much about impact and value. I want to tell that if you are really starting right, it happens. So coming back to your question, which is the Bachelor of Commerce, honestly, Saida, I just did my bachelor's because I had to get a degree, but I was least interested in my studies. I was just working nearly 15 hours a day, and one thing led to another thing and another thing. I started working, I started learning how to create websites, launched hundreds of websites after that, and then expanded, set up a team. And then from there, one team led to another team, led us to come to Malaysia, led us to set up a team here, and then launched another company, Salt and Pepper. So all this didn't happen like a very rosy thing. No, it wasn't rosy. I have had my own pitfalls. I've had my times when I had collapsed physically, I had collapsed mentally. So I think, Shaida, this would be the first podcast where I would very, very directly go live with the fact that I had gone through severe depression as well. And I want to do this for the youth this time, because if I'm going so crazy, like 2018, shayad 2019, 2020
Yeah.
is the time when I was going through the worst time with depression. And I didn't know that I was going through depression, right? So for the world, I was that happy go lucky girl. But inside of me, everything was broken.
Wow.
I
It
was
didn't look at
scared.
all. It didn't look at all. I wouldn't have, if you have not told me this, I wouldn't have guessed at all. Oh my
The
God.
time when it was at the peak, 2020, when everybody was like, you're doing podcast and you're coming every single week, I was going to the worst of the worst health personally. Inside of me was so scared, and I was living the fear every single second, not minute. And thus, I want to tell you guys that it's not worth it to really compare yourself with the race of someone else. You will be where you are supposed to be at the time when you are supposed to be. Just trust the process, trust the universe, because I've always felt that why try to twist and turn what universe has already crafted for you, because he is able to see everything before and ahead, but we are just trying to challenge it, and that's where the real problem happens.
Wow. And how did you come up from that support, and how was it? If we're talking to, if any of our listener is going through right now, what will be your advice to them?
I didn't expect this question, because, of course, I did not expect that I would go live with something like this. But Shaida, I think my biggest struggle was that, okay, so for me, it started with my gut health. My gut health was compromised, and I thought I got every single test in the world done, but nothing came out. All the results were positive, and the doctors were telling, show her to psychiatrist, probably something has gone wrong with her mind. And it didn't feel good, I'll be very honest. I mean, it was really, I had got all sort of checks done in India, I had got all sort of checks done in Malaysia, in both the countries, and
Mm.
still nothing came out. So but I knew my body's feeling something, and I am feeling something which is not normal. The worst thing that happened was it took me about a year and a half to actually realize that I'm going through something mentally. So to all our audiences who would be listening or who are listening, please be very conscious of your feelings, and talk to your feelings, talk to your fears, talk to your truest emotion. Even if it has been labeled as negative, please talk to them, because We have to understand that today we are exposed to a lot more media and lot more knowledge than our parents or parents of parents were exposed to. So they are not, we cannot blame them for putting us in boxes like money cannot be earned easy, you need to work very hard, or putting in boxes like um don't show off, or putting
Yeah.
us, in such kind of strong communication or statements, right?
Mhm.
Which stays with us as our upbringing, and that is, in other words, leaves us with self-limiting beliefs and traumas for life. So that period, I think, is when, after my dad and things that had happened, because I was just running and I was really running fast, I was not catering to my emotions, and everything collapsed one shot. It took me, I mean, it literally took me a year and a half after realization that I'm going through something to come out of it. So I would really credit this to a friend of mine who actually connected me to someone as a doctor. And he just told me, speak to the doctor. She's very nice. Just speak to her. And genuinely, I was just speaking to the doctor, and one session led to another session, which was not in my consciousness that I'm going through something.
Mhm.
And that led to a large part of my recovery. But
Someone.
the fact was that the doctors were not really kind enough to what I was going through mentally, and being very rough about go to the psychiatrist and stuff made me feel more bad. So I would just give a heads up to people that if you're feeling something, do not shy away from therapist. Do not shy away from talking to a friend, because that really helps. Do not shy away from going out and asking for help as well. I think I was going wrong in all the three places. I was not doing any of it, and that made it worse for me.
I don't blame you. I totally understand. And that time you already moved here, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
moved
I had
here,
moved to
yeah,
Malaysia 2014, so
2014.
2015. So this was like my peak time in Malaysia, because Beyond 99 was just launched in 2018.
Mm.
So for me to launch a company and then go through a health calamity of you're going through fever, you're going through other things. It's still, you have some symptoms.
Yeah.
Mental health, that time, 5 years back, the symptoms were not so much talked. Even today,
Mm.
it is not talked so much.
Yes.
Um, uh, I mean, and I want to bring out the symptoms, okay, Saida? I want to tell people the symptoms. It's it's palpitation, it's bad gut health, it's having acid reflux, it's having bad stomach health. It is about feeling dizzy. It's about feeling that sense of fear in everything that you're doing. And the fear is not a normal fear, it's extreme fear. Um, Scared of a lot of things that's happening around you, wanting to cry all of a sudden. The body is going through a lot of feelings, which is physical, which is not,
Yeah.
which can be felt physically, the
Yeah.
vibrations and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I went through these kind of symptoms. So if anyone who's listening, I just want to tell you that I'm not saying that you're going through something, but there's no harm on investing a little
Mm.
bit in a
Mm.
therapist and just getting someone to hear you.
Mm.
Maybe just one round can get you so light, then
Yeah.
you can.
And never take it for granted. I remember 2023. I had crazy busy schedule. It was my daughter who said, "Mom, go and talk to a therapist." And I said, "What's wrong with me?" And I did. And I did. And I felt so much better. And I realized that I was like this. I was overworked. I did felt burnout at that time. And I think that's one of the best investment. It doesn't have to be like or is am I gonna be having this or that disorder? Just pick up the phone and talk to them. They're such a great help. Such a great help. And
Think, Shaida, when we have fever, we don't even think for a second to go to the doc and get those blood tests done, get those medicines done. That
yeah.
also cost us about 200-300 ringgit, right? But
Yes.
then just to get a therapist who's probably 100 ringgit, 150 ringgit around, we're going to calculate the money. We're going to calculate whether it's worth it or not. I just want to tell you that even if your life is going perfect, it's always good to be having a
Yeah.
therapist in life, to
Yes.
talk to somebody who is going judgment free, who is
Yeah.
being able to stick by you, and you can just empty your bucket when it is too hard. Because when we do that, you have no idea the product. I mean, I'm not saying to
Mm.
you, but I'm just saying people do not have idea that the kind of productivity that they can achieve in their life, the kind of performance that they can do,
Mm.
which otherwise is not at the same level.
Totally. I'm so glad you bring this up. You know, we spend ladies, we spend on our manicure,
Oh, yes.
facial, lipstick, we go to get our makeup kit and hair salon. And I think a visit to therapy should be part of that, package into that, and make it a norm. And I know in the West they talk about when they catch up with friends and they'll share, you know, my therapist said this, my therapist said
Yeah.
that, and people are just very casual about it, and there's no judgment. And they're like sharing, "Eh, I learned this from my therapist."
There is a sense of casual pride that they have when they do this, if you will, if you'll
Mm.
really hear them talking, because
Yes.
they talk about those realizations coming from a person that they invested in and felt that that person plays an integral role of their life.
Yes. And I think
um
in Asia, we're not quite yet there. Mm.
Not there at all, Shaida. I
Yeah.
can tell you that the youth is still I
Still.
mean, I'm more worried about the parents than the youth,
Mm.
I'll be very honest, because when the
Mm.
youth goes and say to their parents, because I'm at an age, Shaida, where my age friends are also becoming parents, and we are also very deeply connected with our parents. So I'm
Mm.
somewhere in the bridge between the two.
Mm.
So how we see it is when we go to our parents and say, we're not feeling good. I mean, I'm just not feeling good.
Mm. Mm.
And we do have Asian parents who will come and say that, hey, it's nothing like that. Just go. Focus on your work. You'll get the results. Stop thinking all this. It's rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. You just work hard.
Yeah, just
Switch off
yes.
the phone, switch off the TV, and just do your
I
thing.
mean, switch off the feelings, in other words, and start taking action. And I feel that no hard feelings for anyone. I mean, I love my parents. I love every parent who had been working hard
Mm.
for the kids, and it's not their fault because
Yeah,
they have been brought up like this by their parents.
exactly.
So,
And
but
it worked for them
it worked for them because
during that era.
it
Yeah.
didn't have that kind of media exposure. It didn't have that kind
Mm.
of comparison. There was no rush of winning the battle at the age of 22
Mm.
because now
Mm.
I'm turning 24. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm running late. I have to do so much in my life. This is how kids are feeling at this point of time, right?
Yeah.
So for them, I just want to say that do not shove off your feelings, please. Even in our I mean, so Salt and Pepper is an academy, and we are working with women, specifically professional women who are going through a lot in their career. And so just to give a background, Shaida, Salt and Pepper Academy was all
Mm.
about helping people to brand on LinkedIn.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
And let me tell you that we were able to help thousands of them, but most of them at some point of time gave up. They were like, Kush, I'm exhausted. I can't be consistent. I'm tired. I'm too busy in my life. I don't have time. I'm doing it. And then I'm not getting immediate results. And all of this was coming in. And I felt that sense of that people are learning, the implementation happens for a certain period of time, and then they have that fall. This happened with me as well. And that gave me a very, very deep realization that there is something which is missing in the process.
Mm.
And why are people losing their interest? Is it really about instant gratification? Because we talk about it, right? That we need results immediately.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with people who are right now in their 40s or in their 50s because they have never been in that space.
Yeah.
Youth have been in the space of instant gratification.
Yeah.
And I realized one of the biggest gap was branding is so much not about how you are on the internet.
Yeah.
So I guess just going back, So Salt and Pepper is an academy that we work with. And even though we were teaching thousands of people and empowering thousands of people in branding and helping them to pick their brand on LinkedIn, we found that they learned, they started implementing, but at a certain point of time, many of them faded. And one of the big reasons I realized is when we try to be something we are not,
Mm.
we lose interest.
That makes sense.
And more so when we are so much about the noise around us. Oh, this person got a new job. Oh, new client. Oh, another zero in their bank balance. Oh, because everybody's celebrating on LinkedIn. So there's so much of noise of success that you tend to not hear your inner voices,
Mm.
because your inner voices is getting more and more timid, and getting so clouded by all the accolades of people, comparisons, peer pressure, and FOMO. And that's when I realized that it's so much important to first and foremost, even before anyone who wants to become a name in the internet, want to get that sense of recognition and have that sense of branding, please, 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 before even you think about branding on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or any platform for sale, please work on yourself first, on listening your inner voices, especially in the outer noises. Because when you start getting carried away with all of these noises, you soon get derailed from your goals,
Yeah.
from yourself.
Yeah.
And what happens in that process is you stop connecting with the whole idea of branding.
And you
And thus,
get drowned in the external noise, and then your own goals and your own dreams become smaller and smaller, and oh dear.
and you will see that the people take a back step, then few months they are gone, and then suddenly they would see someone telling them that, hey, why are you gone? Come back again, do again. And then again they would be like, okay, I need to go, I can't be left behind. So they're again jumping into the branding ride
Mm.
because it is a FOMO, because I have to do it. It's not
Mm.
because they want to do it. It's
Yeah.
not because it's their inner desire to do it. It's because if I be better than me.
Mm.
So in that whole space, Shaida, you are not sustainable.
Yeah.
So now in the academy specifically, when we are getting someone in, we're really about their mindset, that where are they? And are they ready to connect with themselves first? And
Mm.
there's a whole journey of like about 45 days that is invested nowhere on LinkedIn, but genuinely working on themselves. And you will not believe, working on themselves, they are realizing that as a child, um, their parents never validated them, and thus they have so much of self-doubt that they fear even being judged by someone that they have never known of, and thus going on the branding ride is an impossible thing for them, but they need to do it because everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
So until they identified that they had this trauma coming from their childhood, which was because of parents
Mm.
not being there, positively influencing them. And it's normal for everyone, it's normal, but we don't know where we are creating that traumas inside of us. And that inner voice, that inner child that was scared all the time, and that fear until resolved, you
Mm.
will never be able to face bullies on the internet. You will never be able to face trolls on the internet. And once if it happens, forever you are wounded, and you will not believe in the platform. You'll say LinkedIn doesn't work,
Yeah.
Instagram is useless, TikTok is all about dancing. That's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
really
even when you are in a platform where people are professional and people are tactful, like LinkedIn, right? I hardly see people. I hardly see hate speech. But even that, the question of what will people think of me? That doubt. Do
now
I?
what.
Do I? Yeah.
So Shaida, imagine, for example, someone is a manager, right? And the manager is probably having his future boss in the network, is having, or a coach is having his potential client in the network. So the judgment is way more,
Mm.
right? Because you're more scared that, oh, my potential client will judge me, that, oh, I'm being vulnerable. So they're more, but when you connect with your inner voice, you're so self-sufficient and you believe in yourself so strongly that you're able to take that judgment in a very positive way. Yeah, I believe that being vulnerable is important, because if I don't, then everything just seems too rosy,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're able to reply that in a very confident, subtle, and a sweet way. But
yeah.
otherwise people will get scared. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I realize that this is not the post that I should have made. Okay, I'll go and delete it. These all. And then at the night when you're lying down, you're guilty of doing that post, and that one post, now you're not doing LinkedIn post at all.
Yeah. Wow. It's a
It
lot
does
of
happen,
work.
right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but these are crucial. I think I get it when you're sharing this. I never realized this, because as someone who's late in this year, I just started a podcast this year. Um, what I see are, of course, all are the rosy ones. And as for me, I take everything as lessons. What can I learn from this one? How do they do it? I really have no time to judge because I also don't know. I've never done it. Yeah. So if I
Shaila,
see people do, yeah.
because of the network, I lost the whole thing that you said.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying,
I never thought like that. This
yeah,
is
I never thought of it that way because as someone who started late, I spent many years doing observation and learning, and most of my observation are learning. I always ask the young people, how do you make a talking head video? Like, don't you have it? I always learn it from the young people, and to me it's all lesson. I didn't even have time to judge because I don't know. I don't know what's good. To me it's all lesson, but I guess if it's in their head busy assessing others, maybe there's also a tendency of thinking how will people assess me rather than what value can I give, or how am I making an impact. Does that
absolutely,
yeah.
because what happens is, in the branding journey, you start doing what everybody wants you to do
Mm.
rather than what you should
You
do.
want to do. Yeah.
And the problem is that if you really go back to the basics, the word is personal branding. It's not about trying to be someone else. It is about you being yourself on a platform where you're putting out your story, and then people start relating, liking, trusting, and then finally wanting to talk to you on a deeper way, and then converting that relationship to a transactional relationship as well, where
Mm,
you hire them as your partner, collaborator, client, investor, or
mm,
however. So it
mm,
starts from that. So
mm,
I trying to be Shaida, or Shaida trying to be somebody else, is where the real problem is
mm,
happening. And that's exactly where you start disconnecting yourself from the whole personal branding, and eventually the fallout happens. And
mm,
this was a realization I had. Means it wasn't the
mm,
first
mm,
time. We launched Salt and Pepper in 2020, and maybe around 2 years, 2.5 years, I would say, or 3 years, we were doing exactly what we were doing
mm,
earlier.
mm,
But over the last 1.5 years, and I can tell you the impact that they have been happening. I mean, it's like going through life, leadership, and personal transitional journey over the same process. And all of this even helping you with the outer world. Why? Because now when you've connected with yourself, and
mm,
that's when people start celebrating you, they start believing in you, they start telling you that, hey, you inspired me with that piece of content. And when you hear that validation, which you've never heard all your life in the last 30, 40, 50 years,
yeah,
you start entrusting yourself more.
mm,
And when
mm,
that happens, I don't have to come and tell you, please keep posting, please keep
yeah,
commenting. that
Yeah.
happens so organically that they
Mm,
enjoy the process.
mm. Amazing. Amazing. I love when you share about the depth of actually personal branding on social media and what it takes. Yeah. It's more than just creating content. It's more than just what to put first, hook, and then what, and then what's the format. It's way much deeper than that. And I really applaud you for doing the depth of the work, because I know there's so many people out there who can sell templates. Hey, just follow these templates and do it. Do it, and you should be getting the results. But you actually invested in making sure that people do the deeper work before that.
Because
Amazing.
Shraddha, Beyond 99 has always been an entity for me, which has been a corporate business entity. And I've always been very professional when it comes to that. But when it comes to salt and pepper, it's really a purpose-driven project. And to see those 10% of the people being consistent was not a happy place for me, because I was more worried about what's happening. Why are people
Mm,
dropping off?
mm,
And I
mm,
went through my own learning curve where I was also disconnected with the whole branding.
mm.
And slowly and steadily, because of my own mentors, investing on them financially, investing on them emotionally, investing on them with time, I was able to come to a point from the front of spirituality as well. Where are the gaps? And thus now, we
Yeah.
don't work on hundreds of people, we
Yeah.
work on tens of people. But
Mm,
those tens, I can tell you, we're getting 100% results.
mm. That's
So
when you do the deep work.
yes, that's
Mm,
there is no point. I work on hundreds of people and they treat this as another course that they can take
mm,
anywhere in the world,
mm,
and then they forget about it. No,
mm, mm, mm,
don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel connected. I
mm,
don't feel nice about it at
mm.
all.
Yeah. I love how you share how in as a business owner we all evolve. I mean, in my work also I evolve. For the past 10 years I've been doing the same thing, and I there's this yearn to evolve. I need to do something bigger, something more that I can connect with. And I'm glad that we are like on the same path of evolutionary inventing and innovating, and coming from making sure that we are making an impact in the work that we do. It's meaningful. It puts us to sleep at night with satisfaction. Okay, we've done that. We've looked at where we can improve and all that.
I think, Shraddha, I can tell you one thing. I mean, earlier when I was, if I reflect back to my old podcast,
Mhm.
there was one reply that I used to always make. What makes you happy? I mean, what's your goal? I used to say that my goal is to sleep like a baby, because that's not something which is very easily achieved. That's something very hard, because you only sleep like a baby when you are at peace. And over this last few years, with your podcast, and I really want to thank you for that. You have no idea what realization you've given to me at this moment. It's not true for me anymore.
Mm,
I am sleeping like a baby every single day. And
mm,
my sleep is no way connected with the kind of hard work I do, because I've seen my father working hard a lot. And I always connected that if I work hard, only then I would succeed. If I don't work hard, I will not be able to succeed. My bank balances will go zero. I will fall out as a person and I will never be able to grow in life. But with my mentors, I have realized that this is just coming because I've seen someone who I look up to in my life working really hard. And thus, I'm trying to copy that in my life, which is not true anymore. I have AI, I have got the laptops, I've got the machines and technologies to help me to be
yes.
more efficient, which
Mm,
he probably didn't have. So the life is very different. And now my sleep is standalone, my peace is standalone, and it has nothing to do with my work. My work is my work, and I love it and I enjoy it, but nothing moves my peace, because that's of the highest importance. And I'm so thankful to you for making me realize that, because Very lately, there was an episode that happened that a client has fallout on the payment. So it's like a bad debt for us. It's about a
Mm.
20,000 ringgit bad debt, not a small amount,
Mm.
still a sufficiently good amount. And we had been working very hard. When I came, and I won't say that it is it's that point of time when this happened, it just took me maybe few seconds to come out of it. I mean, I was not even thinking about that bad day.
Mm.
So I really want people to understand the value of you really giving importance to peace, love, happiness, and fun of your life, and not connecting any of this with your productivity, with race of life, with anybody else in your journey. You're comparing yourself, your competitors, nothing. Everything that you were supposed to get, you have got. Everything you are supposed to get, you will get. Nothing is going to turn around. But only thing you have a choice is, do you want to feel like a grind, which I have felt, or you want to feel the peace and live really every single moment and feel every single moment as if you are winning there itself.
And that I would subscribe to definition of success by that what you just said. Being able to have that peaceful sleep at night, knowing it's not in the numbers. Yes, numbers, great, it pays the bill, it gets you fine things in life, but there's something bigger than the numbers, which is what you've just described.
And Shaida, just imagine, right? Sometimes we own a BMW, but we don't feel it and we don't even live it. We don't even feel like, okay, all our life we've been thinking of a BMW and now we have it and we don't even realize it. But moments where we take that pause and we are living in the peace within, it's not BMW that's sitting with you in the BMW that really makes the ride, irrespective of the car or irrespective of what it is. I
True.
think it's a perspective change which I've felt in my life over the last 1.5 years. And I can tell you specifically, because we are catering to a lot of youth, I want you to invest in your spiritual journey as well. I want you to invest in your financial journey as well. I
Mhm.
want you to invest in your emotional journey as well. Because I don't want to say I want you to invest in your skill set as well, because I know you guys are doing that.
Mm, mm.
You are doing that. But what's about your emotional health? What's about your spiritual health? What about, I don't mean by I don't mean by money in the bank. I mean by your understanding of how your relationship with money is,
Yeah, yeah.
how you're treating money in your life. Are you too stingy? Are you operating from scarcity, or are you operating from abundance?
Abundance, yes.
It plays a very, very different role. So I have I have always been in a scarcity space, either.
Been
Always.
there, been there myself.
I mean, I have to ask you. I mean, we have incidences, right, where we go in the supermarket and we look at the price tag of every single thing and not buy it because it's just a ringgit expensive.
Been there, done that. Yeah,
So, I mean, and it's okay. You should do that. You
yeah.
cannot be, we cannot be like, okay, spending money like
Mm,
crazy.
mm,
But operating from a space where money is an energy that flows and it comes to you in multifold, when you are there for really making that positive impact, it happens. It just happens.
yeah.
But it's a journey. It's genuinely a journey. I've saved every single point because of my scarcity space. I would invest in all sort of investment, not buying anything, you
Mm,
know.
mm, mm.
So I would I don't want you to be spending too much money as well, right? Guys,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
go and
yeah.
spend all your earnings and don't invest financially as well. So yeah.
And wisely.
Yes.
Yes, the the key word is wisely. Oh, thank you so much for sharing you. It's not just your journey, but sharing you. I know you even more than what I see you on LinkedIn today. And I think what you have shared today is such a crucial part of growth, especially with the younger generation, especially if they're still at the college. Yes, get that degree, but also they can start. They don't have to wait until they stumble upon all this stressful situation. start when they are still at the university, learn bit by bit, and learn that wisdom, so that by the time they're out there in the industry, they have a little bit of wisdom, but it's a continuous journey, right? Even I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Believe it or not, at 50s, I'm still learning about boundaries.
And I can tell you that it is the most beautiful gift that you're giving to yourself, Shraddha,
Mm, true, true.
because you have never thought that I know it all or I know it enough.
Mm, mm,
A lot of people in their 50s are in the space where they are thinking that I know it all, and you are not. And you have no idea in a year's time, you would be in a different space, in a
mm.
different orbit altogether, because you have probably set your boundaries, because probably you've understood yourself better. You're ready to own up your preferences. I mean, we as females are
Mm.
so shy to own up our preferences. It's like, oh, what if I say I like this and people judge me? So better I don't say I like this, you know?
Oh, that's another thing. That's another story altogether about girls and our set of beliefs on how we don't deserve space. We can't be too loud, too much, and all that. That is for me, for girls, also something that there are a lot of things that can be thrown away that because it doesn't serve. It doesn't
Absolutely.
serve. Yeah. And the best time to start doing that is when you're still young, because you don't want to accumulate more trauma and scars. I know my time during my 30s, 40s, I still collect scars. I still collect new traumas that I wish like, why didn't why did I do that again, but the earlier you realize that, the more wisdom you have. So I feel that it's wisdom. Yeah. But again, not to have so much of pressure like you at 25, you need to have a wisdom of 50-year-old, but enough for you to make wiser decision of big things in life, and all that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Khushboo. I love how this conversation has flown, has flowed. Yeah, because it's different from those that I had in other interviews. But today I think I really, really want to thank you because you have brought up the most crucial part, which is the deep work that we need to prepare, regardless of career. So we didn't even have to talk about career today. The career is us because it's personal brand. I remember you said it's personal branding. So it's that personal, that part of us that we need to develop, regardless of what career that we're gonna take. Yeah.
I, I like, I would just end up the show by saying that if you really start telling yourself when it is about your career and trying to go out on the internet, because now it has become a necessity, right? Because
Mm,
being on the space where people are able to connect with you
mm,
even before they met is only way social media, right? Only way is internet. So please do not get carried away with the hyped word like even personal branding. And if you can tell yourself that I am in a purpose full driven branding where there's a purpose that I want to drive with the help of my branding, you would be able to consistently remind yourself that there is a reason why I'm doing this. And there's a purpose that I need to drive. There's a movement, there's an initiative. Like, for example, Shraddha, you have one. I mean, silently having a podcast is helping you create a brand, but it's more of a purpose driven brand. You're trying to drive a purpose for the young girls so that they can take stories from our journey and not get derailed by the noises of the world, but instead use that for their benefit, for their better life, and make better decisions coming forward. So, if we slowly transition ourselves for not again and again saying personal branding, but rather than purpose driven branding, we will be rewiring our actions automatically.
absolutely. And no age is too young to have a purpose, right? And no
No
impact
age.
is too small for anyone. I remember one of my guests, I followed her on TikTok. all she does is a day in the life of a corporate girl. So she just started, oh, I started with cleaning, get ready with me, I get dressed, I get, it's a very like a storytelling. This is my day. But I saw the comments. Thank you for posting this. I didn't feel like going to work, but I saw your video. I feel a little bit, I'm charged up. And I saw that amazing. And these are little moves, the little impact that for me, I would not take it for granted. I wish I had that. I wish I had that reference when I was in my 20s. I know how it's dreadful to go to work. But
And
these girls
when
are
we
making it.
and we're not alone in it. When you don't feel alone, you just feel better.
Yeah, wow, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm glad you mentioned no impact is small. Even if you are just a even if, like, I would say you're never too old as well to create a personal brand. Like, people in the 60s are feeling like, "Okay, now what to do?" You have no idea the amount of wisdom you have, and you don't need money from your brand as well, probably because you're well to do by now. So this is the best time where you can have that sense of recognition for all the hard work that you've done all your years, by bringing that wisdom to the world, and people can learn from it and celebrate you for providing that wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the lady I followed on TikTok, I think she's 60s to 70s. All she did was dance on the treadmill, and
Wow.
she used old music, 70s and 80s, very short clips, and she got millions of viewers, including the young ones, because they saw how she enjoys her life and in front of the camera. It just sparks joy. It's like, hey, why am I so miserable? I have this I can call granny. She's still having a good time right smack in her home. And she doesn't worry about her weight, how she looks like. Does she need this fancy makeup or fake eyelash? She doesn't. But I get it. I get it. I know why a lot of people are following her. I get inspired. I would stop for a while and just to
No,
see
yeah, of course.
her antic, and I get entertained.
And I want to tell,
Amazing.
there are a lot of, like, for example, there are a lot of people who will be like, "Hey, she's getting ready for the gym, but she actually does influencers like that or TikTokers like that."
Yeah.
But I want to tell you that get really put up that video. There's so much of effort. I create those videos, I can tell you. I mean, there's so much of effort that goes behind. And when we put that effort, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, automatically the health gets better. The
Mm.
routine gets better, the
Yeah.
lifestyle gets better, the
Yeah.
mindset gets better, because you're responsible for a community. So you need to be better first to be making them better. So a lot of people who are judging influencers for faking it, I want to tell that they're still better off for maintaining the health that they have than we are who are judging them.
Yeah. And I'm still inspired by the impact because I stalk their comments.
Yeah, of course.
My that's my social research. Yeah. And then I'm pleasantly surprised with what I found. Yeah. And of course today from your sharing, to know that the depth of work that you do, and to know that putting ourselves out there for personal branding is not just for the sake of popularity. It's not. It's personal growth, it's connecting with purpose. And I love when you say turn personal brand into purposeful driven brand. And that's where you will find it you'll find meaning in what we do. So thank you so much, Khushboo. Thank you once again. I know you have a busy schedule today, and I wish you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope I could bring some value to the audiences who are going to watch us. And I hope I could live up to your expectations.
No, I have no expectation at all. It's Khushboo. I don't need to expect. Just celebrate your presence.
Thank
Okay, thank you so much to those tuning in, and I hope you've got some powerful, powerful lessons. Don't forget to follow her on LinkedIn and check out her Salt and Pepper Academy. And remember, personal branding is not just about making yourself out there being influencer. You have some deep work and development, and I promise you, when you go through the deep work that Khushboo mentioned, it's all worth it. It's all very, very much worth it. It's not just for your business, but it's for your whole life, your relationship, your peace of mind, your mental health, everything packed in one. So don't forget to check her out. And of course, the YouTube on her storytelling from her TEDx talk. Must check it out, okay? How old were you when you did that? 20s, right?
2018. 2018.
You were still in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I was 27, 27, 27.
That is so cool. And thank you for inspiring.
You have been. Thank you so much for making me realize a certain thing about my own growth journey. And I'm going to remember this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.